Hey, everybody. I'm Steve Alexander, Dr. A. This is the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast, an award-winning podcast, I might add. That's Rick Kamla. We're late. It's 5 o'clock. This is more in our wheelhouse, though. We're more like 5 o'clock guys than this 11 o'clock a.m. BS that we do. Nonetheless, let's do this.
What is up, everybody? It is the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast with the OGs, Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander. The in-season tournament is about to tip off here with the Bucks and the Pacers, Dr. A. So let's get into this, man. Let's help these people make some money. Probably about, 10 minutes until we tip off with all the pomp and circumstance. We got Bucks minus 5.5. Doc, I've got the Bucks to win, and I've got the Pacers to cover. Both teams are in the top 5 in pace. The Pacers are 1, the Bucks are 5. Both want to run, play an up-tempo game. That's advantage Indiana, in my opinion. When Boston was beating them, it was because they had the game at their tempo. Both teams are in the bottom 10 for defense. Indiana's 28th in defensive rating. Milwaukee's 22nd. The Pacers have a much better bench. No Crowder, no Connaughton for Milwaukee. The Bucks don't have a matchup for Tyrese Haliburton. So I believe, Doc, we're going to get a 127, 125 kind of game. Great fantasy game for all of us here. But I'm going to take the points, not lay the points, because I think this is going to be a very, very close game. And so I'll take the points here. How you doing here on Bucks minus 5.5?
I'm going Pacers. I'm a homer. I got to do it. Haliburton's been so good, man. And this is where the Bucks miss Jrue Holiday. Because Jrue Holiday would be a shutdown Ty Haliburton guy. He's not there. Damian Lillard is going to be standing there watching Ty Haliburton run right past him or launching threes over his head. And I feel like the Pacers, they're undefeated in this thing. They seem like a team of destiny. My bold prediction was the Pacers were going to win the East at the beginning of the season. People thought I was insane. They're pretty good, man. And I'm kind of blown away by the fact that Rick Carlisle he's bought into this whole let's be fun. Let's be a fun team. Because Rick Carlisle is not normally a fun guy. But he's like, let's be fun. Let's give the fans something they can get behind and root for. And let's just run as fast as we can and not give a damn about defense and just outscore the other guy. So I think it comes down to, do they have anybody who can at least somewhat contain Jonas? If they somewhat contain Jonas and Malik Beasley does not go crazy, I think the Pacers win.
So I like your breakdown, all of it. I just completed I did a Pelicans and Lakers underdog fantasy lineup, and I just put one in here, Doc, for this game. And so let's get this out. We'll talk about a bunch of other fantasy stuff once the game is started here. But I got Haliburton, Doc, over 40.5 points and assists. So I'm taking the rebounds out. And he's been a good rebounder, but I don't know. I feel very good about the points and assists here. 40.5 points and assists for Haliburton. I'm going over on that. And for Bruce Brown, your guy, he's got a 21 PRA here today, Doc, which is points, rebounds, and assists. And then I've got Giannis at over 52.5 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists. I believe that Giannis and Haliburton are going to be phenomenal today. Again, it's a defense optional game. I think this is going to be a fantasy feast. There's going to be fast play, lots of shots, lots of missed shots, lots of rebounds, lots of Giannis coming downhill, lots of Tyrese Haliburton with the Haliburton hop. And by the way, has anybody coined that, or is that mine? The Haliburton hop. Let's put that out here on the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. But Doc, that's my Underdog Fantasy 3-pack parlay. As I try to turn 10 into 60 here. on Giannis over 52.5, Hallie over 40.5 P and A, and then your boy Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown shows up in big games. If it's a Tuesday night at home against Detroit, that's not the game to stream Bruce Brown or hit him in DFS. Doc, you know this. Going back to his Brooklyn days, when it's, and obviously last year at Denver, when it's a big game, Bruce Brown just like activates, and it's like he's more caffeinated than usual. And I think we're going to get one of those types of games tonight.
I kind of like the take. Yeah, my Pacers underdog 5-leg parlay is kind of boring. This is a swing. This is a swing for the fences. Over 1.5 steals for Tyrese. Over 1.5 steals for Bruce Brown. Over 1.5 3-pointers for Brolo.
Okay, what? Tell me that one again. Lopez was saying, wait, Bruce Brown is 1.5 steals?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to that number should be 1. That number shouldn't be 1.5. All right. Well, Lopez is what now?
1.5 triples.
What? I love that. I missed that one. 1.5 threes for Brook Lopez in this.
Yeah.
I love that.
He'll get that in the first quarter.
Dude, I love that bet. All right. What else?
Miles Turner with a double-double. It's got a big old pepper next to it. It's a hot pick. And then Obi Toppin, the guy that let me down with no rebounds in the second half last game. I got him at higher than 15.5 points and rebounds. And Rick, there's a new tool at RotoWire to do this with. And they break down all of these bets. It tells you how often they hit. It tells you what RotoWire's take on it is. It's good stuff. I used that to put this together. I'm going to let you talk for a minute, and then it's right here. What is the link for that? It's at rotowire.com. I think you can try it for free. I'll put a link out to it on Twitter when we're done, because I don't know the actual, how to tell you to get there, but it's pretty sweet. You can do best prize picks. You can do best underdog picks. You can narrow it down to whatever format you're playing in, and it's pretty cool. And if I win, then I'm gonna be really all about it.
I love it, dude. He's got Haliburton over 1.5 steals, Bruce Brown over 1.5 steals, Lopez over 1.5 threes, Turner a double-double, and Obi Toppin over 15.5 points and rebounds. We'll get into Pelicans Lakers later on in the show here, but I wanted to unpack that before the game tipped, which is very soon here. And Chow Chad, TTV says, desperate tonight playing catch up. Who is more likely to get over 8 minutes tonight? Chris Livingston or Maxwell Lewis? Yeah, it's that grim. Chow Chad, wow. It ain't going to happen for you. Leave them on waivers and keep it moving with your life. And if you take an L this week, you take an L this week. Like I'm in arrears in a couple of my fantasy games this week because of Monday night. And I didn't have enough dudes, and I maybe had 3 and the other guy had 6. And so it sets you back and you're playing catch up all week. I completely get it. But those aren't the guys. I don't think Chris Livingston or Maxwell Lewis are going to get a single second in this basketball game. Possibly, Doc, if they're 30-point blowouts and there's garbage time in the fourth quarter. But Chow Chad, I think is up the creek here.
Dude, Chow Chad could ask Charles Barkley what sport those guys play, and he may not get it right. I mean, you're talking scraping bottom of the barrel right there, and I'm with you. If either one of those guys get 8 minutes, it would be nothing short of a Christmas miracle.
Coming early here on December 7th. Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. We're the OGs, and this is the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. So let's dive into some of this here, Doc A, and we got our eye on the game, and it's about to tip off, and so psyched about these in-season tournament Final Four games tonight. Let's start with this, Doc. Heading into this 2-pack of Final Four games, who is the MVP of the in-season tournament heading into the semifinals here? I've got Tyrese Haliburton, Doc. It's the eye test. It's the stat test. HoopSite does a global rating for players, and it's a really cool metric, and it's efficiency, and it's all the it's all that kind of stuff. But and they rank them. It's not a fantasy ranking; it's a reality ranking, right? But it's HoopHype's global rating. Hallie is first, Giannis is second, Jokic is third, Dame is fourth. Okay, and then LeBron is fifth, and I'll stop right there. Haliburton is 2 of their global rating points above Giannis, which is a big gap. And so statistically, he's kind of sort of lapping the field here. And they're 5-0. And we have the win at Philly, and we have the win at home against Boston. So is there any doubt to you that Haliburton is the MVP of this tournament here so far?
So far, he is. I mean, you can't argue with any of it. They haven't lost a game. The crowd, the Indiana crowd, is literally in a fever over this thing. And I'm sure there are watch parties going on in Indy for this game. But they got to win tonight for him to complete the circle, I guess. So I mean, it comes down to who wins tonight. I still am kind of feeling like Anthony Davis and the Lakers could end up taking this whole thing. But Davis is down there at number 8. So LeBron's even in front of him. So he's got some work to do. He's going to have to ball out today and Saturday if that's going to happen. But if the Pacers win tonight and Haliburton plays well again, which he's going to, because they don't have anybody who can stop him, he's got a real good chance.
The Lakers don't have anybody that can stop Haliburton either, nor do the New Orleans Pelicans. Steve mentioned it, like Drew Holiday. Yeah, Drew Holiday could take a piece out of Drew Holiday, although we just saw that game on Monday, and Drew Holiday had his way with even the great Drew Holiday, who was pathetic on the offensive end of that basketball game. So Haliburton is in the lead right now, guys, for MVP of the in-season tournament. Look, you're going to have to win these next 2 games. We're not going to have a Jerry West 1969 where you lose the finals to the Celtics and you get the finals MVP. It's the only time that's ever happened. And, Doc A, in America, dang it, we don't give awards to runner-ups, okay? Win the tournament, and the best player on the team that wins the tournament will win the MVP of this tournament. So Hallie's got 2 more to go. All right.
I will say this.
Go ahead, Doc.
Haliburton, the numbers he's put up so far, I could see them losing in the finals and him winning MVP.
Yeah, I love you like a bro, but I think you're nuts. His numbers right now are 28 in the tournament, 28 points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists, and very high efficiency.
I mean, I don't know. That triple-double, his first ever triple-double came at the right time. I don't know. I could see it happening. And also, I think New Orleans does have a possible Ty Haliburton stopper in Herbie Jones.
Herb Jones is he is the potential Haliburton stopper if they get that far. But like I said, like Herb Jones is a stud. Haliburton just cooked Drew Holiday. He's almost just an unstoppable supernova of a player right now. And they're about to tip this thing off on let's see what network. This one's ESPN. They're putting all the announcers together from Turner and ESPN, and but the late night game tonight will be on TNT. But it is Cam, it is Doc. We are the OGs, and this is the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Doc, I want to get you into Desmond Bane here. We had some sensational performances last night. I look at the Luka 29-point first half triple-double, and I'm like, all right, cool. It was against the Jazz. They lost by 50. The Jazz, they're more of a dumpster fire than Detroit or Memphis right now. They're just not even competing at all. And then you had Embiid with the 50. But Bane had 49, okay, a career high. 6 boards, 7 assists. The only Grizzly to hit those numbers ever. On the season, he's going 25, 5, and 5. His shooting splits are down from what we know them usually to be, but that's all right. We get it. You don't have your point guard shorthanded. 47, 38, and 86, though. He's still flirting with 50, 40, 90. Bringing you defense. He's got 2.2 combined stocks. And it's just been absolutely terrific. But, Doc, I believe with Ja Morant coming back, they've played 20 games, 5 more suspension games to go, and then Ja will be back. And we're going to see Bane's numbers come down from 25, 5, and 5. And the efficiency is going to go up, but he's not going to score 25 points per game. So where are you at with this? I would investigate trading Desmond Bane right now. And looking, maybe I could parlay him and another dude into a really big boy. And just make a run at Haliburton or something. See what your league says. Desmond Bane's numbers are fantastic right now. Very sellable. And so I'm not saying give him away, but Doc, I would shop Desmond Bane here, because once we get a week out, Doc, and it's like Ja Morant's coming back and headlines start to pop and, videos start to surface of him working out and all this kind of stuff, I think your opportunity is going to be over at that point. But we're here 5 games out, about a week and a half out. I think now's the time to pounce if you want to try to sell high with Desmond Bane. Where are you at with that?
It's interesting. Also, I'm losing my voice here, so just bear with me. The whole reason I was so high on Desmond Bane was the 25 games of Ja being out. And my boy Vaughn at NBC kind of ripped me when I drafted Desmond Bane in the second round in one of our drafts. But he was totally worth it. He's a top 20 guy right now. I don't think he's going to drop very far when Ja comes back. He's going to take a little bit of a hit, but he should also have more open looks. Ja's going to be dominating the ball, but Bane has been good with Ja in the past. So I still think Bane's going to be a big part of what they do. I think things are going to be easier for him. The numbers might come down a little bit, but the efficiency might go up. I'm not like panic trading Desmond Bane right now, but I'm okay with looking into moving him. For you need a stud, you need a top 20 guy coming back though to do it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's got to be it's got to be a heavyweight coming back for Desmond Bane.
Brolo for 3.
Yeah, he did. He just hit a 3. Hey, quick before we move on to our next bit here. I don't know if you were watching at the point where they were showing Rick Carlisle addressing his team before the game. And behind Rick Carlisle were all kinds. Miles Turner just put Jonas in the rim. There were a bunch of Jimmy John sandwiches behind Rick Carlisle. Okay. That makes me like the Pacers plus 5.5 even more today. They're powered and high octane with the greatest sub sandwich there is, Jimmy John. So Doc, let's have a quick sub debate here. Are you a Jimmy John's guy? Are you a Firehouse guy? Like which one are you digging the most?
I'm down with both.
I mean, I like all of them too, Jersey Mike's, but if you had a preference of one, which one are you going with?
Well, I was initially a Firehouse guy, but I've come to love the cold sub and bread combination of Jimmy John's. I mean, that Turkey Tom is money, bro. I'll tear up some of that Turkey Tom.
You are killing me. I love it. I'm a JJ Gargantuan guy. I go for the gusto at Jimmy John's, man.
I'm Turkey Tom all the way. Hey, while we're talking about companies and selling sandwiches, let's talk about Underdog for a second. We already have, but Underdog Fantasy, Rick, as you know, is the #1 platform for NBA best ball and DFS player pick'em contests. If you haven't tried Underdog yet, new Underdog users receive a first-time deposit bonus up to $100 and a free 6-month subscription to RotoWire with the promo code RWNBA. That's RWNBA promo code. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog app today. Use promo code RWNBA. Claim your free RotoWire subscription and deposit bonus. Rick, Ken Kreitz, the K-Train, was kind of making fun of me the other day. He's like, dude, you've really bought into this Underdog thing. Like, you're playing Underdog all the time. And I'm like, I am. And the thing I like about it, you can bet $5, you can bet $10, you can bet $1. And if you pick all those pepper picks, you can hit for $100 on a $1 bet. And even more than that, I think. And that's pretty fun just to get in there and play with. So if you're scared about, I don't want to become addicted to gambling, my wife will kill me if I'm in there spending money, just play for $1. It's fun.
I love Underdog Fantasy. I think I like the layout. I like it's easy, and I like they'll do a point prop and a point rebound prop and a point and assist prop and a point rebound and assist prop, and it's everything you want right there. It really is. It's you're right. It's easy. It's a piece of cake, and I don't want to mention other platforms' names that are competing with Underdog, but I think Underdog's got it looks better. It's easier. I've got other platforms that I can do daily fantasy betting on. Okay. But Underdog Fantasy is where I'm doing it right now. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it. All right, Doc. So the in-season tournament going on here, Milwaukee with a 13-10 lead over the Indiana Pacers very early in this game. I want to have a Golden State Warriors conversation with you here. We saw Kuminga get completely yo-yoed by Steve Kerr last night. All right. And Kuminga's not a big fantasy guy, but just follow me here. I want to take us down. He should be. Thank you.
He would be somewhere else.
Good point. Good point, Doc. You got me there. I mean, obviously it's Kerr, and he doesn't like young players and doesn't trust them, blah, blah, blah. That's why Wiseman's in Detroit. That's why Poole is in Washington. Good point by you, bro. So obviously Kuminga was the story of the game. Didn't play in the first half, and then he had 13 points on perfect shooting in the second half. Okay, it was the difference in the game. But Steve Kerr after the game talked about, night to night we're going to have different rotations and things are going to look different. And Steve Kerr is one of the most stubborn coaches. So to have him talk about different optionality night to night speaks of how awful this basketball team is and how desperate he is. Guys, that was a losing effort last night against Portland. I don't know if you all stayed up late to watch that game. The Warriors won, okay, but they should not have. And you won by 4 over the Portland Trailblazers, who lost Brogdon in the game. They got Simons back, and they didn't have Grant or Ayton, okay? That should have been a 15-point beatdown by the Golden State Warriors, but it wasn't. So I wonder, Doc, if Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins are on notice as well now, okay? Obviously, Kuminga has been the yo-yo guy for Kerr. I get that. And he's relied on Wiggins and Klay, won championships with Klay, won with Wig. I get all of that, man. And then it's a bigger conversation, right? About are Klay and Wiggins the two biggest fantasy disappointments this year? Because their numbers, Steve, are god-awful. They're atrocious. All right. So if you're going to yank around Jonathan Kuminga, who's 11 points in 19 minutes and actually been pretty solid for your team in a limited role, Klay Thompson's been garbage. Wiggins has been even more garbagey than Klay Thompson. Why are we yanking these guys in and out of the starting lineup for his teacher's pet, Podziemski, your boy Podziemski?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kerr is just sticking with his guys, and his guys are Wiggins and Klay. I mean, Klay looks washed up, dude. I mean, he looks washed right now. Is he going to look washed by the time Christmas gets here? Hopefully not. I mean, I root for Klay. I want Klay to do well. But so far, man, he doesn't look confident shooting the ball. He doesn't look right shooting the ball. And you want Klay to feel good about his shot, even if it doesn't go in. You want him to miss 6 in a row and then still shoot it with that confidence. He does not look like that right now. So I don't know, man. I hope he's not washed, but he does not look right. And Wiggins, my goodness. Put him over there in Washington with Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole and just bust city.
There's no doubt about it, dude. There is no doubt about it. So let me give you Klay Thompson's numbers here, man. Listen, and I agree with you. I'm a Klay Thompson guy. I like Klay Thompson. I think I don't know him, but I like his style. I like not like what he wears. I just kind of like the way he talks, and he's a deep thinker. And I don't know. I'm just a Klay guy, and we've seen him win and all this kind of stuff. 15.5 points. I thought he was going to be about 23 or 24, Doc. 39.7% from the field. You got to be kidding me, dude. 35% on threes. Okay. And this is over 30 minutes a game. It's brutal. It's brutal. And let me sing you a song here about Andrew Wiggins, okay? You mentioned the K train, Ken Kreitz. He's in the Cam Dynasty, the Dynasty League 14-teamer head-to-head that I commissioned. Steve is in this league as well. Shout out to K Train. Me and him and Darren Wolfson, who's a media guy in Minneapolis, a great media guy in Minneapolis, are all sort of right up there for first place. We're about one game away from each other. And so, we're in this to win this, man. And Ken won it last year, okay? So we give him those flowers. K-Train tried to shop Andrew Wiggins and then dropped Andrew Wiggins, okay? And then I picked up Andrew Wiggins when he was hurt. He had this little finger thing, right? Kept him in the little IR spot for a minute on Fantrax and left him there through last night because I'm like, this guy ain't it. Doc, I just dropped Andrew Wiggins to pick up Rui Hachimura and stream him because of the limited game factor with the in-season tournament and only 2 games. I just dropped Andrew Wiggins for a streamer. Are you kidding me? In a 14-team dynasty league, Doc. That's how bad it's gotten for Andrew Wiggins, man.
That says it all. I mean, it's bad. And Kerr is sticking with him through thick and thin, even when Kuminga goes off and does what he's supposed to do. Like, Kerr's gonna have to. He's gonna have to take a Chetty pill. It's hard to suck it down, but you're gonna have to make a decision. I would be playing Kuminga over Wiggins.
What is it? I think we've gotten to that point, Doc. I'm with you. Again, it's not working. You're under 500.
Pill.
You're below the play-in tournament right now if you're the Warriors. I think desperate times call for desperate measures. What, a Chetty pill? I thought you were playing the Chet Holmgren card.
No, it's Chetty Osman. Last year,
I see.
Or 2 years ago, Matt Straub and I were doing a podcast. And he said something like, Chetty Osman, man, he's just so hard to trust. And I'm like, man, that Chetty pill is a tough one to swallow, but sometimes you just have to suck it down. And sometimes you just need to throw Chetty in your lineup and see what happens. But it's a tough pill to swallow. And that's where we are with Kuminga. Like, Kerr needs to suck it up, put Kuminga in there and let him play. I mean, shake up the rotation. Give your guys some life. Put Kuminga in there, let him do his thing.
Andrew Wiggins does not deserve to start for this basketball team. I mean, I believe he's at like 0.6 stocks. You can look it up. Yeah, it's like 0.2 blocks, 0.4 steals. It's like, what? That's like RJ Barrett bad. That's like Allen Houston bad. Yeah, Allen Houston. Allen Houston was he even an overrated? Anyway, was he even a rated fantasy guy? I know he hit buckets and hit threes and all that, but man, he was a 2-category guy: points, threes, and gave you nothing else. Shout out to the great Allen Houston. So, Doc, we have a comment here from, let me pull this up here. Admiral Nita says, sell high on Coby White with Zach LaVine out another 2 to 4 weeks, or is Coby a hold with a trade looming? And he says, 12T cat. What does the T mean there, Doc?
Teams.
Oh, 12 teams. My bad. I thought it was some kind of, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not selling high with Coby White, Doc. I'm not selling high with Coby White. I want to see, first of all, the next month or so, he should be, I don't know about a rock star, but he should be very solid over the next month with Zach LaVine out before they trade Zach LaVine. I believe Zach LaVine's played his last game with the Chicago Bulls, guys. I think this is the soft launch of that. They're not coming out and saying it, but Sharani is saying that he'll be out the next 3 to 4 weeks. Guess what that butts up to? January 15th, when all the free agents signed in the offseason can then be traded during that next season. So LaVine's played his last game with the Bulls, man. But I'm holding on to Coby White, Doc. How about you?
He's inefficient. I don't love everything he does, but he has one really good game per week. He has 2 decent games a week, and then he has one where it's kind of like, oh, man, he just killed me.
You ain't lying. It's the roller coaster ride.
It is, but the highs are better than the lows. And I'm down with Coby White. I think Zach LaVine is done in Chicago. I'm with you there. I don't even know if he's really hurt. Honestly, he just doesn't. He's not happy. They're not happy with him. I think that relationship is broken, and I think it's Coby White's year to do whatever he wants to do. So I'm hanging in there with Coby.
They just paid Coby too. I see the Mannings up here and some kind of betting ad. Are you tired of the Mannings?
Nah.
You're not tired of the Mannings?
Nah.
They have not reached the point of overexposure for you right now? Peyton
I mean,
Manning.
they're overexposed, but I'm a dude. I had season tickets in the Peyton heyday in Indianapolis. Like,
I'm talking to the wrong guy. I'm talking
when Peyton left, when he was done in Indy, the Colts have never been the same. It's hard for me to get excited about the Colts. I miss Peyton. So anytime I see Peyton, I'm down.
Understood. Do you feel like are you tired of seeing Travis Kelce on TV?
Oh my God, yes.
Got him. I got it.
Oh my goodness. Makes me I want the Chiefs to lose every game they play. I don't need to hear about Taylor moving into his damn mansion. I don't need to hear about Kelce or his mansion. I don't need to see Kelce's tweets from when he was in high school and couldn't write an English sentence. And Dion too, man. Dion, this is why we can't have anything nice in America. Something cool happens, and then we blow it up and run it into the ground. I mean, I don't need to hear Dion's name again this year. I don't need to hear Kelce. I don't care about the Eras Tour. I don't care about any of it.
Oh, my God. I'm so glad I went there. That was extraordinary. It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely extraordinary.
I got a question for you.
My Disco Biscuits are going on tour soon. A little winter into spring and summer tour. So you got that going on. Anyway, go ahead.
You have been throwing the word stocks around a lot.
Are you mad at me?
Deals and blocks combined. Not a fan of stocks. I'm a fan of the fantasy gold that is stocks. Not a fan of the word. I don't use it. I don't write it. I don't say it. It makes me cringe a little bit, like when I see Taylor Swift at a God-blessed Chiefs game.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying you can't use it. I'm just saying it's not my jam.
It's I don't really say it a lot, but
it's easy.
But when so I was almost dead on with Andrew Wiggins. I said it was about 0.6 stocks, right? He's 0.7. 0.3 blocks, 0.4 steals for Andrew Wiggins. He's a 1-1 guy. He's usually always around 1 block, 1 steal. So that's been terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. All right, Doc. Let's fire up some of the chat comments right here. Chow Chad had a legitimate question that we can actually sink our teeth into, as opposed to and Chow Chad, we're messing with you here. The Livingston and Maxwell Lewis. I mean, Maxwell freaking Lewis. I forgot he was even on the Lakers. But Chow Chad says, where's his note here? Do you think this fixes JJJ? Yes. JJJ needs Ja Morant back in the worst way. We were just talking about Kelce being overexposed, and I think the Mannings are overexposed. I love them, but they're overexposed, right? I mean,
they are.
Don't hate on Eli. Don't sleep on that resume, all right? Eli is top 10 QB all time, man. But anyway, I think Ja Morant coming back is going to fix Jaren Jackson Jr. He's like, for Bane, right? He's a shot hunter, and he's a ball handler, and he can play make a little bit. So, okay, no Ja. That just means more of me. But Jaren Jackson Jr. was not put on earth to be a go-to guy, to be a dump it down into the hole and have him pivot and make post moves. Obviously, it can't be a staple of your offense, JJJ launching threes. I mean, he's good at it, but it can't be a staple of your offense. So I believe Ja's return will fix Jaren Jackson Jr. Tell Chow Chad what you think about that.
No, I agree. I think it's going to help. I think it's going to make his life easier. JJJ's big problem has been a lack of blocks and really bad shooting. And when Ja's on the court, Desmond Bane's going to be open. JJJ is going to be open. I do think it's going to help Jaren Jackson Jr. a lot. But having said that, Jaren Jackson Jr. is also helping himself right now. His last 2 games, 37 points and 9 boards with a steal and a block, 2 stocks, 13 and 21 shooting. And then he hit 10 and 20 against Detroit. That was a must-win game for Memphis. They treated it like so. They won the game. He had 24 points, 3 blocks, 4 rebounds, shot it well. That's 2 games in a row where he's looked better than he's looked all season. So I think JJJ's already turned the corner. And when you throw Ja Morant back into that mix, I think he's going to kind of take off.
I like the answer there a lot, man. So let's go to another comment here. And his name is Paul Yasung He says, should I trade Markkanen, Kuzma, and Melton for Adebayo and Tatum? And the question at the end is really the key question. Is this a fair trade that wouldn't get vetoed? I would veto this trade. No way. No way. Melton to me is on the fringe, man. It's like if this was 3 dudes like Markkanen and Kuzma and then another guy like that, and you're kind of bundling a 3-pack to go get a 2-pack, I get it. But this is not a 3-pack. This is a 2.5-pack. Now look, Paul, what I would do is offer the trade. Okay. And if they accept the trade, then they accept the trade. And then if there's backlash in the league and they try to undo the trade, well, then they do. Okay. And you got to deal with that. But you'll never know until you do it. And I would happily turn Lauri Markkanen and Kyle Kuzma, the shutdown guys. Wait for it. Both of those guys will be shut down in late March, maybe even early March. Okay. Both of them, I promise, will be shut down. And Melton, come on, man. It's a no-brainer. The non-no-brainer is, will it be vetoed, Doc?
Well, you know, I'm a non-veto guy. I don't think trades should be vetoed. If you're savvy enough of a fantasy manager and you work the deal hard enough that you can pull that off and get Adebayo and Tatum for those guys, those shutdown guys plus Melton, you do it all day. And let's say you spend a week working on getting that deal done. You finally talk the guy into it. Props to you, man. I think you should be rewarded for that, not penalized. So I hate trade vetoes. They make me really angry because the reality is you don't know who wins the trade until after the season. You just don't know. And who's to say one of those studs isn't going to get hurt? Who's to say Markkanen doesn't play the whole season? You know, you don't know what's going to happen. So if you work your butt off and make a great trade for your team, I hate when those get vetoed. And it sends bad vibes and bad blood through the league. You get mad at your boys, they get mad at you, and it just causes drama. And the last thing any of us want out of our fantasy league is drama.
Whew, I've had a tumultuous relationship with League Freak, the league I invented and created, and I'm not in right now. And I'm not out of it now because of drama. It's a really, really pricey league, and I don't have the stomach for. Are you still in League Freak, Doc?
Nope.
It's like somebody else took over and became the commissioner, and they ramped up the entry fee. It's like way into the hundreds. So I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on that. And
that's a league. That's a league for people who have real jobs and don't just talk about sports all day.
Somewhere in there, you might be right about that, Doc. Somewhere in there. All right, let's tell the people here. The Bucks are up 29-23 over the Pacers here late in the first quarter. McConnell missed a shot with the rebound to Portis. All right, let's look ahead to Lakers and Pelicans here a little bit, man. Did you do, Doc, a Underdog Fantasy lineup for the Lakers and Pelicans tonight? And if not, I can get us going here. You let me know.
Yeah, I did like 10 of them, of course.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm going to do more than what I have right here. And I may add these and then, because the 3 that I got, Doc, I really like. And I might like enlarge this and have just the 3-pack one and then make it like a 6 or 7 and really try to, I don't know, have some fun with it. But talk to me, man.
Brolo update. He's already hit 2 3-pointers.
I knew it.
Quarter.
Man. Gosh, when you said that, Doc, I missed that, man. I did. I was scrolling through. I don't know. Sometimes you just miss it. I missed that one, man. I would have definitely added that to my Pacers and Bucks parlay here. That was a really good call by you, man.
Thanks.
Any other updates from the box score you'd like to drop on us?
Well, Ty Haliburton, it looks like a monster again. Like he's getting what he wants, and it's a close game. End of the first quarter. It's going to be fun. All right, let's talk about these. Give me your underdog. Give me one of your underdog Lakers.
Okay. First of all, Zion Williamson. Doc, did you look at Zion Williamson's points number on Underdog Fantasy? Do you happen to know what it is off the top of your head? It's 22
no.
and a half. 22 and a half. Does that sound does that sound a little low to you? Sounds a little low to me. I love Zion over 22 and a half points tonight. CJ McCollum 17 and a half points. And here's why I like CJ. Bucks up 29-27 end of one. Pardon me one second here, Doc. Here's why I like CJ. It's 17 and a half. CJ is a rise to the occasion guy. This is a rise to the occasion game. But I'm burying the lead here. I believe Brandon Ingram's going to have a tough game tonight, Doc. We saw Devin Booker struggle against all of the waves of Laker defenders with Vanderbilt and Reddish and Prince, and all these guys are healthy right now. Vanderbilt's probably going to play a little bit more than he played in the previous game, which was, I believe, 16 minutes. He may be up to a 20-minute threshold here in this game, maybe more. But I feel like because CJ is always kind of that third guy. It was kind of that forgotten guy, right? Zion, BI. They're the duo and all this kind of stuff. And there's CJ with D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reaves. Come on, man. He's going to scorch these guys. And they're terrific offensive players too, but they're not going to stop CJ McCollum. So I think the Lakers are going to put a blanket on BI, and CJ is going to have to score well more than 17 and a half if they want to win this game. So I'm over on Zion at 22 and a half, over on CJ at 17 and a half, and I'm over on LeBron at 28 points. And, it's a big number. It's a step out. It's not even close to his regular season average, but these are the games that he lives for. He's been talking about how much this cup means to him and how much he wants to win it, and he's going to go for it. And the Pelicans don't have anybody that can stop LeBron James, man. They do not. So I think it's going to be a really fun offensive-minded game, I believe. Not like super crazy high scoring, but I think the guys are going to get their numbers in the right spot. So Zion, CJ, and Bron with their points. I'm going over, Doc, and trying to get a 3-leg parlay here.
I like it. I've got a 5-gamer. This is based on the RotoWire optimizer tool I told you all about, which you can find if you go to RotoWire and dig around. I wish I had the link, but I don't. I got Herb Jones over 4 rebounds. That seems reasonable, right? Trey Murphy, 3-point specialist / dunk contest competitor, to higher than 2.5 3-pointers. He's going to get tons of minutes, man. Murphy's looked great since he's come back. I think he's going to hit 3 triples. I got LeBron like you do. I got him. Actually, I don't. I got LeBron under 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Why you hating, bro?
I think it's going to be AD. That's what RotoWire told me to do, dog. I got Jonas Valanciunas higher than 23.5
Hey,
points.
Just quickly. You know why RotoWire is doing that? Because the numbers are so far above his regular season averages. I totally get what the system is doing right there, man. I get it. But you know what I mean? I'm like, I just got a vibe on LeBron tonight. You know what I mean? Like I got a gut that he's going to have a big one tonight. But that I understand why the optimizer is telling you to go under, because these numbers are well above his regular season averages. So the computer's probably like, does not compute. Like, where are these numbers coming from? Right. And so I'm boosting in, the motivation factor with a 1 and done Final Four, Vegas, in-season tournament, right? I think all that stuff matters for this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it's either going to be AD or LeBron. One of them's going to go off. We just don't know which one. And I think we're in a similar situation with Zion. Zion's either going to get 10 rebounds or he's going to get 30 points. He's not going to get 30 and 10. Like he's going to get 15 and 10, 15 points, 10 boards, or he's going to get 27 points and 5 boards. Charles Barkley's like, we need him. Like Zion needs to crash the boards and score, really. But he hasn't been doing both at the same time. So you got to kind of pick one or the other. And I've been going with rebounds instead of points for Zion. And then the other guy I got in there is Austin Reaves. I think he's going to have a good game tonight. Higher than 18.5 points and rebounds combined.
I like the Reaves call. I do. His number was at 14.5, I believe. He's a guy that for points, he's a guy that I may be adding to a bigger parlay later on. So it is Rick Kamla. It is Steve Alexander, aka Dr. A, and wrapping up here the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Doc, let's talk a point spread here on Lakers and Pelicans. It's 1.5. I would think that the Lakers would be favored by a little bit more than this, but it's 1.5. So Vegas and the way the money is coming in tells you that this is going to be a very, very close game. I thought the point spread on Milwaukee, Indiana was too much. You did as well. We both tried to live inside that number or just get a win. We took the 5.5 with the Pacers. I'm going to lay the 1.5 here with the Los Angeles Lakers, Doc. I like them to win. I like them to win the tournament at this point. And I think it'll be Lakers and Bucks in the championship game on Saturday. But I do like Lakers minus 1.5. Doc, I do. The Lakers really don't have a good matchup for Zion Williamson. That's kind of a hiccup for me. But I do overall like the duo of LeBron and Davis more than Zion and Ingram. And it's not just liking them, it's trusting them, who's better, who is more explosive, and all that kind. Like LeBron's not explosive. Like anatomically he is, but statistically he's not. He doesn't go off for 40 points. He doesn't put up triple doubles. He basically 25, 7 and 5 every night. He just kind of always is around those numbers. BI is not really explosive. He doesn't go massive in these games. And the Lakers are healthy, Doc, and they got their dudes. They got Vando back, who's going to be very effective defensively in his minutes. So I got the Lakers minus 1.5, Doc. How about you?
I do too. I think the reason the number's so close is because now that the Pelicans are at full steam, full force, CJ McCollum is back. He's been an incredible fantasy player this year, like second round value. Trey Murphy looks awesome. Herb Jones looks awesome. Jonas Valanciunas playing well. BI, he's been healthy for once. Zion's been healthy for once. I mean, New Orleans is suddenly the deepest team in this tournament, probably, right? And then you got the Lakers, where you got their starting lineup and then nothing else. Like their bench is kind of garbage. So it's depth versus starters. And I do give the nod by a little bit to LeBron and AD and Austin Reaves and D'Angelo Russell. But if it comes down to foul trouble and it comes down to a tight game and it comes down to guys being winded, I think New Orleans has a little bit of an edge. So I think it's going to be a great game. The late game tonight is going to be awesome. And I'm going to go with the Lakers just because I picked them to win the tournament the other day. I've got AD as my MVP. So for him to win that, they need to win and he needs to go off. But yeah, I like Lakers minus 1.5.
All right, Doc, let's answer a couple more questions here. And
yeah, do this one. I got one. Oh, you got it. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to do. From Andre Sasson.
That wasn't the one I was going to do, but let's go ahead and do it here. All right, Doc, tell my man here, Andre Sasson, about Santi Aldama. Is he a long-term player?
Is he? I don't know. I kind of feel like he is. I think Xavier Tillman has run its course, right? I just called Xavier Tillman an it instead of a him. That's my bad. But no, I feel like Xavier Tillman is not the answer. Steven Adams, gone. Bye-bye. Won't see him all year. Santi Aldama has kind of been doing stuff. He looks good. I don't have his numbers pulled up in front of me, but I like Aldama. I think he is a guy that you want on your roster right now. And he's one of those guys in fantasy where you just ride him till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I'm not a Santi Aldama guy. I like him as a bench player. He could be a backup 4 or 5 in the NBA if I were a GM of an NBA team. Starting, that's a hell no. That is if I want to win. You're not going to win with Aldama in your starting lineup. Long term, is he a good fantasy player? Nah, I don't think so. I think he's a streamer, or like Doc said, a pickup off the waiver wire and run him until he runs out of gas and then put him back on waivers. He's at 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 stocks. I say that because I know it annoys Doc. 0.8 steals, 0.7 blocks. He is at 1.7 threes. But the shooting has not been good. It's dipped a lot. Why? More minutes, more defensive attention, all that obvious stuff. When the guys get healthy, and Adams, of course, will not. But Adams is under contract beyond this year, okay? So that's going to be a block for Aldama moving forward. Brandon Clark looms as a block for Aldama moving forward. So I would ride him until, fortifications come back and the cavalry comes home. And heck, maybe you can ride him through this year. If 13, 6, and 2 with under 1 and 1 in the D and almost 2 threes, if that works for you somehow, some way, cool, knock yourself out. But I think next year when the Memphis Grizzlies are whole, Santi Aldama will be a 17 to 20 minute bench player.
Next year, yes. He struggled shooting his last 2 games. Before that, he went on a 4-game run with double-figure scoring. Before that, he was scoring a bunch of points. He's been kind of bad the last 2 games, but in his last 4 games, he has at least a block and a steal in 4 straight. Those are stocks, bro. He also hit a 3-pointer in 4 straight. He's also got a 12-rebound game, a 7-rebound game. Like I think Santi Aldama is fine right now, and I think this shooting slump is going to end because he's in a 2-game slump. But I've enjoyed what Santi Aldama has done so far.
He's been solid. We had a turnover here by the Bucks, run out by the Pacers. Nice unselfish.
Pacers up 4.
Nice unselfish shovel pass for TJ McConnell to Mathurin for the blast, and a 4-point lead for the Pacers. Really fun game, man. All right, one more here. Let's pull up. Let me go to this one right here. Last question of the day. LAL Toth or Lal Toth says, who can I possibly offer for Herb Jones? Either 1-for-1 or package one of these players. And he's got Giddey, John Collins, Kelly Oubre, Chris Paul, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Any of them. Pick 2, any 2.
Really? You're throwing Giddey down into that mix where you're just giving away Giddey like that?
Dude, Giddey's been bad.
I understand. I do. We are a quarter of the way through the season. We don't see this turning around. Doc is pretty firm on that answer right there. I would try to package. I mean, and the other thing, let's not go crazy about Herb Jones. I mean, like, he is a good fantasy player. Is he a great fantasy player? I tell you what, Doc, he's great at one particular category, and you know what category that is, the stock category. I love rankling you with that right now. But our guy,
2 categories, by the way.
It is. Look at you. Herb Jones is at 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Okay, 12, 4, and 3. That's waiver wire stuff. 1.3 blocks, 1.1 steals, 3.1 stocks. That is elite. And he's at 1.3 threes, which is waiver wire material. So let's not go crazy on Herb Jones. Okay.
Herb Jones is rated as a top 30 player right now.
That's cool. That's what the metrics can say. I know the Rick Kamla algorithm that has been so successful fully like 2 generations. And I mean, it's about where are you making a difference statistically? Okay. Where is Herb Jones? I understand the ranking and I appreciate it and all that stuff. Okay. Herb is at 52% from the field, but to me, that's a little overrated when you accumulate the whole thing. He's taking 8 shots per game. Okay. So that's not really, I mean, cool. You're getting great efficiency on 8 shots. Okay. I want great efficiency on 16 or 20 shots. He's 36% on threes, 88% from the line. But again, we're taking 3 free throws per game. So, okay, he's 88 from the line, but it's 3 free throws a game. What is that really? So it's where are you making a difference? Okay. Like a big man, like Joel Embiid with 6 assists, right? Okay. Or, Sabonis with his assists. Where are you making a difference? Where are you cutting through the clutter? Luka with the rebounds and, so a guard that rebounds, a big that dimes. That's what I'm looking for, dude. Look, I got Herb on a couple of teams. Frankly, if something hot comes down the track, I'm probably going to send him back to waivers, man, because I look at him as a difference maker in 2 categories. And I know you disagree with this. So I would not trade. I would offer John Collins for Herb Jones. All right. Okay. Because he's going to get shut down. I would offer Chris Paul for Herb Jones for a bunch of obvious reasons. Oubre, they're not going to even take your call on that. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I don't think they'll take your call on that one either. And Giddey, I got to see more from this Giddey thing to just give him away for Herb Jones here. But I know you're disagreeing with a lot of the stocks, so go ahead.
Giddey in the rankings that I am looking at, which I need to get in the habit of just going to the RotoWire rankings and not use this other website that I love. Giddey is a 20th round fantasy player right now. 233rd overall. 11.8 points. 0.8 threes. 5.7 rebounds. 4.3 assists. 0.7 steals. 0.5 blocks. 42% field goal. And he's got this legal thing hanging over his head. Jalen Williams going off. Chet Holmgren going off. SGA, Ty Haliburton Jr. Got all these guys balling out around, and Giddey's just like out there on an island by himself. Giddey's hurting your team more than he's helping you right now. Trade Josh Giddey. Get Herb Jones, a 3rd-round fantasy stud. Run him out there every night. Be done with it.
All right, so Lal Toth, we tried to help you. Hopefully we did in some kind of way. And again, like who's better right now? Clearly, I would rather have Herb Jones in my lineup than Josh Giddey. There's no question about that. I just wonder if things change a little bit for Giddey moving forward. That's where I'm at, man. Doc, anything else you want to tell the people before we say bye-bye?
Well, yes. You need to click on this thing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, keep us going. Make sure we're here every Thursday morning, not usually in the afternoon. Hit those buttons, and there is a free, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this or not. You can try RotoWire for free by clicking on, oh man, I don't have it pulled up. I sometimes, I think I got it, Rick. Can you give me 5 seconds to see if I can pull this up?
Yeah, it's Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander. We are the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast here.
Try RotoWire for free at rotowire.com/try, TRY. And then you get to try it for free. You get access to all the tools we talked about today, all the news, everything. It's awesome.
So, all right, one more, because we're nice people here. Howdy says, please answer my question with a quick yes or no. He says, should I trade Jalen Brunson and Ausar Thompson for Jason Tatum? Now, listen to me. In a dynasty league, no. In a regular league, yes. I would do that. Because Monty Williams has the worst rotations in basketball right now, and he's messing with my guy Ausar Thompson. And so no end in sight to that. But Doc, look, in a dynasty league, no. I'm not giving up Brunson and Ausar. I think Ausar is going to have a huge career. Okay. But in a regular league, yes, I would offer that 2-pack up and see what they do.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade Brunson and Ausar Thompson for Jason Tatum. And then when Kamla drops Herb Jones next week, I'm picking him up, slotting him in there, and I win my league. It's done.
Herb Jones is not a league winner, man. He is not a league winner at 12, 4, and 2, or whatever those PRA numbers were. Not a league winner, man. Look, we've gotten you're very welcome, Howdy. Thank you so much for joining us here, man. We've gotten to the bottom of a lot of stuff. Okay, we both think Travis Kelce is overexposed. I think the Manning brothers are overexposed. Doc, not so much. Doc is we're both Jimmy John's guys. Although I'm the JJ Garg, and he is the what was the one you said? The
Turkey Tom.
Turkey Tom. And so right there, we've kind of parted ways in the road here on Herb Jones.
Players that rank lower right now than Herb Jones. Ready? Trae Young.
Are you telling me you would rather have Herb Jones in your lineup than Trae Young?
LaMelo Ball.
Stop.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jimmy Butler. Anthony Edwards. Evan Mobley. DeJounte Murray. Domantas Sabonis. Mikal Bridges. The list goes on, baby. I sound like Dick Vitale right now.
So, Doc, you the man. Always appreciate these moments with you in this podcast. We'll be back next Thursday at a regular time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Today I had to change it up based on some other stuff in the in-season tournament. It kind of threw my whole schedule off. But I appreciate all of y'all's flexibility and hanging out with us here. For Dr. A, for everybody here at RotoWire, thank you so much for watching the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Enjoy the in-season tournament, guys, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.